The Regressed Mercenary has a plan. Chapter 2. Ghislaine want to know the right command. He knew Ghislaine was an idiot, but to ask for the right to command when their soldiers' lives were on the line. But the commander cannot fulfill what is being asked. This is not a game. Even though this is their young master, he cannot give up the authority given to him by the Lord so easily. It annoyed the commander, although it would have reacted the same way if someone approached him as an idiot and asked for the right to command, and suddenly the orc attacked them. The commander called Ghislaine back and he said he would take care of this, because it seems that this one still lacks the experience to lead the troops. He seems to have no choice. And suddenly Ghislaine threw his sword that passed by the commander. The commander asked angrily what he was doing, and it looked at the orc. Ghislaine's sword is already stabbed into the orc's head. The orc fell in front of them. This was shocked because Ghislaine hit the orc in the weak spot. He called her Scoven, and he asked her if he knew the most important thing in the battle. And the orcs were shouting at what happened, and the guards were scared. They believe they no longer have any hope of winning the battle. They're trying to get the momentum. Ghislaine suddenly attacks the orc. It suddenly jumps into the middle of the fighting orcs and guards. And when it fell, it stabbed an orc in the head. The guards were shocked by what was done. Even their commander was shocked by what happened. He was challenged to be attacked by the orcs. While he was stepping on the head of an orc, he said he would kill them all. He was not afraid to attack the orcs. Because of this attack, the orcs are falling one by one. The commander was shocked by what he was seeing. It seems that even if he is a mana user, he will have a hard time doing this. But the skinny young master is able to do this. He thinks he's already tired to this battle. However, he's using the smallest of movement to dodge attacks, and using his swordsmanship to strike at their weak spots, like a Manalus sword master. Or perhaps even something greater. Meanwhile, Ghislaine still not warmed up. It doesn't come from the reputation of the warrior species. All orcs attacked Ghislaine. Ricardo shocked because all the orcs are attacking Ghislaine. The commander can't understand what Ghislaine is doing. He running into the group of orcs and drawing their attention was good. But now running away, and in that direction is the edge of a cliff. This made he think because Ghislaine was running to the edge. He gave command to the troops to raise the shield wall. They follow the first son. The orcs are chasing Ghislaine. And it is certain that its Scoven is an experienced commander. He already knows his plan. Even though it prefers to slice all the orcs, its stamina can no longer handle it. But even then, he thinks his plan is enough to defeat the orcs. And he was indeed attacked by orcs near the cliff. The orcs looked at the back. The Scoven and Ricardo and the guards are ahead of the orcs as they raise their defense, so they can push them into the cliff. And Ghislaine smiled at the formation they made. And when the orcs were near him, he suddenly jumped into the cliff. As it was falling, he gave a signal to start the attack on the orcs. And their Scoven ordered to push the orcs into the cliff. They did it with Scoven, Richard, and the troops. Because of their cooperation, they successfully pushed the orcs into the ravine. All the orcs were falling into the cliff, and because of its height, they all died from the fall. The guards were relieved because they managed to kill the orcs. Scoven looked up at the cliff to see if Ghislaine had fallen with him. It saw Ghislaine holding his sword that was stuck in the side of the cliff. Ghislaine smiled at the moment. Scoven was surprised and delighted by what he saw. And then Scoven reached out his hand to Ghislaine to help him climb up. But it could no longer reach Scoven's hand, and because of fatigue it can't stand the hanging anymore. And they were shocked because Ghislaine had let go of his sword and was falling into the cliff. Scoven and Ricardo and the troops were shocked by what happened. Meanwhile, Ghislaine heard someone calling him Appa, and it reminded him of Elena, and that he remembers, her mother is gone now. There is something wrong at this moment. He the worst. He looked at his hand. These are his memories of Elena. Suddenly, someone grabbed his arm and called him Appa. This one is crying, saying that they left together. And suddenly, Ghislaine opened his eyes with a towel on his head. He is indeed already inside a room. He looked at his palm and thought he was alive, and they managed to save him. This wonders if it is just a dream. Suddenly, he felt a pain in his body. It is believed that it is because of the use of his body that he reached the limit. He thinks it's okay. It's easier for him to know now that he is still alive. Suddenly, someone entered his room. She was glad that Ghislaine is awake. She is Belinda, and she indeed said that she is worried. She said that he should have just allowed the soldiers to fight the orcs. She was suddenly embraced by Ghislaine. He was surprised by Ghislaine's embrace. He just glad to see Belinda. Belinda is her personal tutor. Since its childhood, she was the only one who continued to stay by its side, despite him idiotic antics. And since their family fell to ruins, she went missing. He has not been able to see it again. He never thought him to see her like this. It will always be happy if he sees it every day. He need to tell Belinda the truth. Ghislaine wants Belinda to listen to him properly. He was shocked by what Ghislaine said about an approaching catastrophe in Perduum. The truth is, he said that he died and came back to life, as he knew that Ghislaine almost died because of the orcs. Belinda knows is that Perduum is the most dangerous, but that's not what Ghislaine means. He doesn't believe in him and he thinks it won't work. Belinda asked Ghislaine what he would do because he was so hurt and might not be able to go to the festival. And he thought about the festival. Lady Elena has long been waiting for the day she will be with Ghislaine at the festival. It would have been a big chance for them to become close to each other again. There was a festival that always happened around this time of the year. In his past life, he didn't have time to enjoy the festivals because of his traumatic experience. It wants to know how many more days until the festival. And Belinda said that there is only 1 week left before the festival. A week, the day that changed his life. Someone opened the door and called him Auber. The memory that continues to haunt him. Crying young girl want to go with him. 1 week later, Elena will die.